Yo, what's good? This is your boy, Tone DeShields II. You guys are tuned into your dose of Chalk It Up Sports via the Chalk It Up Network, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Thank you guys so much for being here. It means a lot to me, goes a long way. Make sure you guys continue to smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Nothing moves without the people. This content, the work I put in, none of this stuff, none of this growth happens without you people. So make sure you guys continue to stay engaged and make sure you guys always remain members and supporters of this community, right? We have a lot to be thankful for. We have a lot to be happy about, right? And I know there's a lot of distractions out there telling you or trying to convince you that you don't deserve this. That's where we are now. We're at that point where people have run out of excuses as it pertains to the Philadelphia Eagles. They've run out of ammo. They've run out of reasons why we shouldn't be where we are. We're in a very strange era right now, you guys. We're in a strange era of sports talk. We're in the era of sports talk where these people who are making millions and millions of dollars feel threatened by people like you and I. We're in this era where the power is now in the hands of the people. The power is in the hands of the consumers. The power is in the hands of the content creators, right? I'm so grateful for this opportunity, for this platform to be able to kick it with you guys, because it's about time we start to carve out our own narratives and tell our own stories and tell the truth and not lies. And I got to be honest. It's really difficult for me personally not to react to some of the things I see on social media. It's really hard. They do a great job at tugging at your heartstrings. A lot of these national shows, a lot of these people on these big platforms, these corporations, these stakeholder invested platforms, they do a really, really good job at really grinding your gears. Like you ever around somebody and they say something so stupid, all you can do is just like, you can't help but to look at them and say, what's going on? You okay? You have no choice but to just have a visceral reaction, right? You ever walk into a room and you smell something that stinks so bad, like your face ball up? That's how bad some of these takes are. You can't help but to ball your face up. You can't help but to react. You can't help but to give your opinion. And like I said, we're at this point, you guys, where people are running out of answers. They're running out of excuses. They're running out of excuses. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to be playing in the Super Bowl 59, and they will be trying to get their lick back against the Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning two-time champions. The reigning champions of back-to-back Super Bowls. The Philadelphia Eagles will be playing in the Super Bowl 59. 2 Super Bowl appearances in the past 3 years. 3 Super Bowl appearances in the past 8 years or 7 years, I think the number is. So when you put all of that into perspective, you say to yourself, damn, the Eagles been doing a lot of winning. Right? A lot of winning for a long time. And as of recently, they've done a lot of winning in the Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni era. The era where people doubted. The era where people have the most opinions about, right? This is a strange time, Philadelphia. This is a strange time, world. Eagles fans. They're trying to convince you that your Eagles don't deserve to be here. And it's crazy because it's coming from people that I actually have some kind of respect for, or some people who actually entertain me. Now, I don't know none of these people personally for the most part, right? They don't owe me nothing. I don't owe them nothing. I try to be as respectful as I can. Everybody get these jokes though. But I try to be as respectful as I can. But some of these guys are making it hard to respect them. They're making it hard to respect them. They're making it difficult to respect their voices, their opinions. And it's coming from people who've played this game at the highest level, who knows what it takes to win, who knows it's never as simple as it looks on television. You have people who have lost their way. You have people on ESPN, Fox Sports, who have lost their way. They retire, they get these microphones in front of them, and all of a sudden they forget what it takes to win. They forget what it's like to go through that grind. They start having these brazen opinions about who deserves what and who's being carried by who. And, you know, they have these visceral reactions to another man's success. This is why no matter how good the Philadelphia Eagles are, we will always remain underdogs. Because that's the narrative they push. That's the narrative they push. They love claiming that Philadelphia unnecessarily embodies this underdog mentality. A lot of reporters, a lot of people like saying that Eagles fans, the Eagles in general, embody this underdog mentality unnecessarily because they have a history of winning a lot of football games. Well, if y'all know that, why do they continue to talk about the Eagles the way they do? Why do they continue to talk about the quarterback the way they do? Eagles fans, the Eagles organization, we don't have chips on our shoulder for no reason. We don't have chips on our shoulder for no reason. And then when we do achieve success, you know what they say? They try to come up for every other reason other than the work they put in. For example, and by the way, you guys, I want to give a shout out. Give me 1 second here. I want to give a shout out to all my members. I really appreciate you guys for locking in and supporting the channel. I want to give a shout out to all my members: Green Wingman, Doomsday Corner, Dana Scott, Alex, Mr. Eagles Nation, Trey 979, Carol Hockaday, Sweet Chin Music, Fanny the Eagles Fan, The Bull RJ, FAMU 1234, Big Pickin', Michael Hardy, Shep, S. Blunt, Luther Winfield, Dank Bird Gang. Thank you guys so much for becoming members. It really means a lot to me, you guys. Thank you. Thank you guys for becoming members. And if you guys do want to become a member yourself, all you have to do, at the bottom of the live stream, you'll see a button that says join. That's all you got to do. You can either go to the YouTube channel and click that join button, or you can click the join button that's under the live stream. It's under the video. I think it says join next to the subscribe button. That's what I believe. So again, thank you to all my members. And I'm going to get to all your super chats as well. You guys are tuned in to Chalk It Up Sports via the Chalk It Up Network, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to chalk it to the game, or charge it to the game. Excuse me, man. See, I'm so frustrated by these people. I'm so frustrated by these people who are trying to come up for every other reason why the Eagles should be where they are. They built the roster. They put the work in. They've beaten the tough opponents. They've defied the odds. They've overcome injuries. They've overcome setbacks. They've improved week after week after week after week. And you know what the best they can come up with? Well, if the Eagles weren't in the NFC, they wouldn't be in the Super Bowl. What kind of fucking topic is that? What kind of opinion is that? I don't understand where their logic comes from. I don't understand where their logic comes from. By the way, you guys, If you want to become a member, like I said before, go to the YouTube channel and it says join right next to the subscription button. Right here. Go to the YouTube channel and it'll say join right here. Okay? That's all you got to do. Click join. But again, this is the crazy part. Like they say the same thing every day. Hey, Jalen Hurts is being carried, force him to throw, and they won't win. In that game against the Commanders, he only ran for like 15 yards. In a 60-minute game, he only ran for like 15 yards. And had 245 yards passing. They said, force him to pass. Okay. He passed. They forced him, I guess. 245 yards later. 4 touchdowns later. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. Career high in completion percentage. Career high in passer rating. I don't understand. 3 seasons in a row where your number 1 receiver is an all-pro, over 1,000 yards. A career high in touchdowns for Devontae Smith. I don't understand. I don't understand. Dallas Goedert had a pretty good season, and you still had a running back rush for over 2,000 yards. I mean, yeah, I would expect the passing numbers to go down. If you got a running back doing what Saquon did, I would expect the passing numbers to go down. I would expect it. I would expect you to pass the ball a little less. Saquon Barkley is doing amazing work. When you got a guy like that in the backfield who's on a heater, you got to feed that. But nonetheless, all these publications and these networks, and I'm saying to myself, what, yo, is it really that slow for you guys? Like, is the news cycle really that slow? Is it really not popping on your side of the fence? Y'all gotta start to fabricate shit now. It's crazy. Like, what if the Eagles wasn't in the NFC? What are we talking about? What kind of hypothetical is that? It's so many ifs, so many buts, so many shoulda, coulda, wouldas. It's so many of those when it comes to the Eagles. I don't understand it. No, I do understand it. I take that back. I do understand it. I do understand it. Y'all hate us. Y'all hate us. And y'all continue to wonder, how is it possible that this organization can continue to build this roster like this? How are they paying everybody? It got to be something they're doing. Is it legal? Is Harry Roseman in the mafia? Is he in the mob? What my man Jesse Pinkman say in Breaking Bad? They can't keep getting away with that. They can't keep getting away with that. That's how they feel right now. That's how they feel. They keep wondering, how do the Philadelphia Eagles keep getting away with it? Hey, your guess is as good as mine. This Super Bowl is going to be so entertaining. It's going to be so entertaining. It's going to be box office. And I can't wait to be celebrating on Broad Street with my people. I can't wait. I really can't wait. You know, again, it comes a point in time where you have to start taking your own credibility seriously. You have to. When you're on these programs, if you're Cam Newton and you're someone people respect, if you're the Stephen A. Smiths of the world, or the Chris Sims of the world, or the Mike Florios, or the James Jones of the world, or the Michael Irvins of the world, right? I can go on and on. I can go on and on. If you're the Nick Wrights of the world, right? All those people, the Greg Jennings of the world, all those people, the Chase Daniels of the world, the Emmanuel Achos of the world. If you're those people, there comes a point in time where you have to start looking in the mirror and saying, damn, how credible am I? Yeah, I played the game before, but damn, I'm sacrificing my credibility and my honor just to push a narrative that I probably don't really believe. But also, when you watch some of them, you notice the difference in tone when they speak about the Eagles, the difference in tone when they talk about Jalen Hurts. You hear the venom. You hear the disdain. You hear the jealousy, the envy. You hear it. You hear it. It's resounding. It's resounding. All I know is at the end of the day, regardless of what they say, the game got to be played. And the Eagles, no matter if you like it or not, they have shown up when it matters most. And all those people, all those quarterbacks, all those teams that you claim is better than ours, we've beaten them or somebody else is beating them. And they haven't shown up to the party. They haven't done their part. They haven't come through on their side of the deal. Everybody knows the best quarterbacks are in the AFC, the best teams are in the NFC. Everybody knows that. That's not strange. There's always parity in some way in these leagues, right? The best quarterbacks are in the AFC. That's by far, it's not even a question. The best teams are in the NFC. I think that goes without question. Fully healthy, name two teams in the AFC that's better than the Eagles and Lions. Fully healthy. There isn't any. Fully healthy, there isn't two teams in the AFC. There isn't a single team in the AFC when healthy better than the Eagles or the Lions when fully healthy. And I could also say, when fully healthy, there aren't many quarterbacks in the NFC better than the quarterbacks in the AFC. You give me a take. It is what it is. It is what it is. So when you start to push these narratives about if a team was in a different conference, that's how you know, or that's how we know you've lost. That's how we know you've run out of options. You run out of ammo. You want to know another one of those narratives we've heard? Jalen Hurts isn't a game changer. He's a game manager. Okay. Well, a lot of those game changers are sitting home. A lot of those game changers are sitting on their hands in Cancun, drinking Mai Tais with sand between their toes, while the game manager is preparing for a Super Bowl. If being a game manager, if being a game manager brings me all this success and helps add to my legacy, damn it, I'll be a manager all damn day. I'll be a game manager all damn day. I'm just saying, man, like it's fascinating to me how some of these guys make sense of what they said. It's fascinating. Let me get to some of these super chats, man. Thank you guys for locking in. It means a lot to me. You guys are tuned in. to Chalk It Up Sports on the Chalk It Up Network, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. My man Donnell Shipley in the building. What's good, Donnell? Thank you for the $5 super chat. He says, you know, they say it's hard to beat a team twice, and every team we played in the playoffs, we beat twice. Packers, Rams, Washington. Ooh, Donnell, you cooking. I like this take, Donnell. They do say that. They say it's hard to beat a team twice when you play them, right? They say when you play a team more than once, it's hard to beat them that second time. It's hard to beat them that third. It's not easy. It's not easy beating a divisional rival in the playoffs. It's not easy beating a team twice in the same season. It's not easy when you face a common opponent or a similar opponent as you did in the regular season because they know you. They got you on tape. They can make adjustments. It's not easy. But isn't it funny that throughout the Eagles' entire playoff run, they have faced teams that they've had to deal with on more than one occasion? They had to play Washington for a third time. They had to play the Rams for a second time. They had to play Green Bay for a second time. That's not easy. That ain't sweet. Teams are able to make a lot of adjustments if they get another crack at you. If they get another crack at you, they get the chance to make a ton of adjustments. And lo and behold, the Philadelphia Eagles still took care of business. Those other teams still couldn't figure out the Rubik's Cube. They still couldn't stop Jalen Hurts in that offense. They still couldn't stop Saquon Barkley. They still couldn't figure out the defense. Still couldn't stop Jalen Carter. Quinyon Mitchell has upped his level of play in the playoffs. Darius Slay has upped the ante in the playoffs. Cooper DeJean has upped the score in the playoffs. Zach Bond has upped it in the playoffs. Oren Burks. I mean, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? You can make an argument that the Eagles have had. I might make some people mad with this one, especially if you hate the Eagles. I might make some Eagles fans or some Eagles haters mad when I say this one. You can make an argument the Eagles have had the toughest road through the playoffs. You can make an argument that the Eagles have had the toughest road in the playoffs. You can make an argument for that. You can make an argument for it. Common opponents the entire way. A blizzard game, a snow game. Quarterback coming off a concussion. Hasn't played in 3 weeks. Yeah. Yeah. You can make an argument for that, Donnell. You can make an argument for that. Your quarterback comes into the playoffs ice cold, missing the last 3 games, a concussion, didn't get cleared into the week of. All 3 of your opponents have been common. You played them more than once. Yeah. Obviously, we had home games. That's a plus. But common opponents aren't easy. Played the Packers twice. Played the Rams twice. Played the Commanders 3 times. A divisional opponent at that. Oh, my God, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, Donnell. You brought up a good point, man. Thank you. I really appreciate it. All right. Mr. Manu. What's going on, sir? Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. He says, I love how the media doubts us. When we win it all, it'll be that much easier. You're right. Mr. Manu, it'll be that much sweeter, baby. It'll be that much sweeter. You know what's so crazy? They had all their takes locked and loaded if we would have lost that Commanders game. They had all their takes locked and loaded if we would have lost that Rams game. They had all their takes locked and loaded if we would have lost the Green Bay. They had all their takes locked and loaded. They had it pre-recorded. They had it ready to go. And every week they had to answer for that shit. Every week they had to find a new thing to talk about. What if this passing game is a liability? They're not going to be able to get to the Super Bowl, let alone win it, without this passing game. All right. Every week it was a new thing. And now we're in the Super Bowl. Now they're left to talk about a comment Jalen Hurts made in his press conference, or if the Eagles weren't in the NFC, what if they were in the AFC? Or, Jalen Hurts, is he a game manager or a game changer? Like, this is where they've stooped to. This is where they've stooped to. Just saying. Thank you for the super chat, Mr. Manu. Donna should be back again. He says, Tone, the topic to be the stupidest shit I ever seen. Does Jaylen deserve credit for being in the Super Bowl? He's on the team, ain't he? Yo, that's what I'm saying. Like, you want to know one of the dumbest age-old arguments I used to hear in sports talk? It ain't got nothing to do with the Eagles. You want to know what the dumbest sports topic I've ever heard in my life? Well, not ever heard in my life, but do you want to know one of the dumbest sports takes I've heard? Who deserves more credit? Bill Belichick or Tom Brady? Really? Really? Who deserves more credit, Bill Belichick or Tom Brady? Now they're talking about who deserves more credit, Patrick Mahomes or Andy Reid. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Y'all smarter than this. Y'all better than this. Y'all getting paid too much money. Y'all got too much invested in these networks for y'all to be having these kind of conversations. Y'all got too much. Y'all got too much infrastructure. Y'all got too many producers for this to be where y'all go with this. Who deserves more credit? Tom Brady or Bill Belichick? What are we talking about? What kind of question is that? Like, so Donnell, you're right. Some of these topics are idiotic. They're idiotic. And the thing is, they take themselves so seriously. And you got to watch some of them, man. They take themselves so seriously. There's not many people on television who are rational. All of them aren't bad. I will say that. All of them are not bad. There are people on television who are actually pretty rational. Now, do I agree with them all the time? No, but that's life. But for the most part, there are a handful of individuals who are rational. Let me see if I can name them. Keyshawn Johnson. Keyshawn Johnson is very rational when it comes to the Eagles. Very rational. Very, very logical when it comes to the Eagles. Keyshawn Johnson is. Joy Taylor. Joy Taylor is very rational when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. Very fair, very rational. Who else? Elle Duncan. I think she's reasonable. I think she's fair. Jeff Saturday. I think Jeff Saturday is pretty fair, pretty reasonable. I think Louis Riddick, fair, reasonable. Booger McFarland. Booger. I think he's reasonable. I think he's fair-minded. And again, do I agree with these people all the time? No, but I think they're fair. Mina Kimes, I think she's fair for the most part. I think she can be fair. I think Marcus Spears can be fair. I like Marcus Spears. I think he's fair. Now it's starting to get a little tough. Dan Orlovsky, he can be fair at times. Again, I think he's fair to a degree. I think Ryan Clark can be fair sometimes. That's what I think. I think that. Who else? Yep, y'all tell me if I'm forgetting somebody. But, there are some people on these shows. I think Wilds from what is it? First Things First. Is it Kevin Wilds? I forget his name. Kevin Wilds. I think Kevin Wilds is pretty fair. I think he's fair. I think Chris Broussard can be fair. I think so. But like the thing is, like, it's funny money. It's funny money, man. Shout out to my man Warv for the $4.99 super chat. Warv says Stephen A admitted on live TV they have to talk about certain teams because of ratings. Cowboys been done since October, so now they have to talk about us. Oh no, they admit it for sure. They admit it. They know it, and they're shameless about it. But see, here's the thing. I know, or we know, you have to cover certain teams for ratings. We know that. But the way y'all talk about them, the way y'all cover them, that's the problem. That's the problem. It's not who you're talking about. It's how you're talking about them. That's my problem. Hey, listen, you talk about who you got to talk about because of ratings. That makes sense. But at the same time, be fair about it. Be fair. Davon Tyree, my guy, thank you for the super chat. He says, Tone, what's the keys to victory for the Eagles to win the second ring? What key matches are we looking at? Good question. As we get closer to that game, we're going to definitely break down keys and stuff like that as we get closer. But, just off the top of my head, one of my keys to the game is you don't want this game to come down to a final drive by the Chiefs. If you're the Eagles offense, you want to have a 2-touchdown or 2-possession lead with at least 4 minutes left, 3 minutes left. You want to. You don't want the Chiefs having an opportunity to drive down the field for a game-winning touchdown or a game-winning kick. You don't want it. For our offense, do what got you there. Balance attack, run the football, get your play action and your RPO game involved, right? That's what I think. I have a hard time believing the Chiefs are going to be able to stop Saquon Barkley. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced at all. The Chiefs are a good team. Phenomenal quarterback, phenomenal coaching. That's their strengths. Coaching and the quarterback. Those are their bona fide strengths. And they've had one of the better defenses this year. That's a fact. They've had one of the better defenses this year. That's an absolute fact. But I have a hard time believing that they're going to be able to stifle Saquon Barkley for 4 quarters. You know how you got to be mindful of Patrick Mahomes because he's so dangerous? You got to be mindful of Saquon Barkley because he's that dangerous as well. He's a home run hitter. Every time he touched the rock, he's at risk of taking it to the crib. He's at risk of running into the goalpost. That same Patrick Mahomes mystique that people are afraid of, Saquon Barkley has the same mystique. You have to literally account for this brother every time he touched the rock. You know how scary that is? You know how scary that is? Every time somebody touched the ball, they liable to hit their head on the goalpost. Like, literally. That's nerve-wracking for a defense. That's nerve-wracking. And trust me, the way this team is built, Blunt, they definitely plan to win. They've been through it. They plan to win. They plan to win. They not playing not to lose. They plan to win. Believe that. The way this team is constructed, the way they got here, the things they've been through since that Super Bowl loss, the things they've been through, they're not playing not to lose. They plan to win. I think these guys are fearless right now. You got too many guys on that team that been there before, that got a lot on the line, that knows exactly what it takes to win. They've been there. A lot of them guys on this team been there before. Don't forget. Thank you for the super chat, Devon. Infamous 2K back again. My nemesis. My nemesis, infamous 2K. Is that 2K for Saquon? I always wondered that. Is that S2K for Saquon, infamous? Now that I think about it, now I know why you got 2K in your name. You knew Saquon was going to go for 2,000 yards this year, didn't you? You knew it. You just didn't want to tell me. You knew it, didn't you, brother? You knew it, didn't you? You ain't got to lie, infamous. You ain't got to lie. 2K in there because you knew Saquon was going for 2K, didn't you? My man Infamous back again with the super chat. Thank you, Infamous. I appreciate you. You know it's love. This is my nemesis, though. He says, it's not a problem to be a game manager if your team is the Avengers. But y'all start to put Hurts above the game changes because of team wins. That's why he gets the hate, if we're being honest. Hey, listen. A lot of people wish they were in your position, Infamous. Infamous, let me ask you this, right? Let me ask you a question. And you may have a different opinion. You may agree or disagree. But how often have you been in favorable situations, or how often have you been in a situation where, hey, maybe you're not the perfect one for the role or the position, but you got it and you're maximizing it, right? Riddle me that. How many of you guys have ever been in situations where you know you're not the perfect candidate, but you got it anyway, and you ran with your opportunity, and you maximized your opportunity? And people look at you and say, man, I'm better than him. I'm faster than him. I'm stronger than him. I'm smarter than him. I'm more qualified than him. But you the one in the position, though. And they mad and they jealous and they want to be in your spot. And they don't think you qualify. And your whole perspective is, well, damn, like, I feel like I'm maximizing my opportunity. I feel like if everybody around me succeeds while I'm here, and if we're making it do what it do as a team, and I'm playing my role, what difference do it make? What difference do it make? And that's my problem. Like, people want to continue to have these visceral feelings and visceral reactions when it comes to Jalen Hurts because he got drafted by this team. And this team decided that, hey, we can win with this guy. You see, y'all get so caught up on we need to win because of this guy. A lot of people get caught up in that narrative. We need to win because of this guy. When most of the time, when these organizations are trying to find their quarterback, the question they're really asking is, can I win with this guy? Because there aren't many quarterbacks in the league on the level of Patrick Mahomes. There aren't many quarterbacks that you're going to be able to draft on the level of Josh Allen. There aren't many quarterbacks that you're going to be able to find on the level of Lamar Jackson or even Joe Burrow. I personally I think those four guys, talent-wise, those four guys are probably at the pinnacle. More so Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. You know what? I'll just leave it at the three horsemen. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Those are the three de facto bona fide killers in the league. And the thing is, so many teams pull their hair out trying to find themselves one of those killers in the draft. And it's really difficult to find one of those killers in the draft. It's hard to find Patrick Mahomes in the draft. It's hard to find Josh Allen in the draft. It's hard to find Lamar Jackson in the draft. It's hard. It's difficult. So there's more quarterbacks who are on the level of Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love and Jaden Daniels and Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff and CJ Stroud. There's more quarterbacks on that level than there are on the level of Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen in the league. Teams pull their hair out trying to find the next god of this thing. And the reality is, a lot of people say, damn, if he's not winning enough, why don't you get rid of him? It's hard to find quarterbacks in this league. It's hard to find quarterbacks that you can win with. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard, man. It's difficult. It's really difficult to find a quarterback that you love, a quarterback that you can win with, right? It's hard. And I know some of you guys feel like Burrow should be in that category. Listen, do what you want with it. Burrow has been hurt many years, and his numbers are spectacular and all that kind of stuff. But listen, I like Joe Burrow. Don't get it twisted. I like Joe Burrow. But when I watch Lamar Jackson play, when I watch Josh Allen play, when I watch Patrick Mahomes play, you know, I just feel like they're physical freaks, in my humble opinion. But regardless, though, that's not the point of the conversation. Let's not get distracted here. The bottom line is it is hard to find a quarterback in this league that you can win with and that doesn't fuck it up. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. So when you got a guy that you know you can win with, that's a leader, that has all the intangibles that you want, a guy that can be the face of your organization, a guy that you can trust with the money, a guy that you know that can put the ball where it's supposed to be, a guy that's constantly trying to get better, a guy who plays egoless football, doesn't put the ball in harm's way, doesn't hurt you. That may seem like it's the bare minimum in football, but it's not. It's not. There's more quarterbacks in this league that hurt their teams than quarterbacks that help their teams. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. There's more quarterbacks in this league that hurt their teams than help their teams. So I'll be damned if somebody tries to diminish Jalen Hurts' light. I'll be damned if somebody tries to convince me that Jalen Hurts doesn't belong to be considered one of the better quarterbacks, one of the top 10 quarterbacks in this league. I'll be damned. I'll be damned. I'm sorry that you don't like his skill set. I'm sorry that you don't like how it looks. I'm sorry that he doesn't fit your criteria. I'm sorry. But you know what? I take that back. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm sorry. But I am sorry that the Commanders got a 55-piece put on their head. I am sorry about that. That was a little unnecessary. That was overkill. But like I said, you can give all the credit in the world. You can give all the credit in the world to the most talented man in the room, the biggest man in the room, the strongest man in the room. You can give all the talent in the world. You can give him all the credit in the world for his talent. But at the end of the day, I care more about the guy that knows how to use the pieces around him than the guy who is the most talented guy in the room. I'm just saying, like, so when you hear Cam Newton talk the way he's talking today, I'm like, hold on, Cam. Like, I got respect for your game, man. I was a fan. I was a fan of yours when you played, but what's your angle, brother? What are you talking about? Yeah, Jalen Hurts got AJ Brown. Y'all could have, anybody could have had him. Yeah, Jalen Hurts got Devontae Smith. Somebody else could have drafted him. Yeah, the Eagles got Saquon Barkley. Somebody else could have paid him. Yeah, we got Dallas Goedert. Somebody could have drafted him too. Yeah, we got this offensive line. Well, we drafted these guys. We found some of these guys in free agency. We built these guys up. You know, we turned a regular player into a superstar left tackle. You know, we turned a failing right tackle into a super successful right guard. We turned a center. We turned a young center into a Pro Bowler. You know what I'm saying? We turned the center into a superstar left guard. Like it's my thing is, right? They so quick to say Jalen Hurts has a king's ransom and playing with the Avengers, but my thing is, where's your Nick Fury? Where's your Nick Fury? They saying Jalen Hurts playing with the Avengers. Well, guess what? You better find yourself a Nick Fury. You better find him. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Perfect example, AMHC. I'm going to get to that super chat in a little bit. You want me to accept you disparaging my quarterback because he has pieces around him? It's rare you find a quarterback that can do it alone. It's rare. It's very rare. It's very rare you have a quarterback that can turn bums into the bells of the ball. It's very rare. So I'm sorry if many people believe the Eagles don't deserve to be here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. But hear me out on this, right? They love to say Jalen Hurts has been holding this team back this year. He hasn't been using his weapons. He's been failing A.J. Brown. He's been failing Devontae Smith. He's been failing Dallas Goedert. They love to say that. They love to say that. But here's my retort. Here's my retort to that. Because if you ask me, I think Jalen Hurts did exactly what he was supposed to do this year. I think he did exactly what he was supposed to do, if you ask me. Hear me out on this, you guys. Hear me out on this. And some of you guys may agree. Some of you may not. But it's okay. Let's just do some math a little bit. Let's just do some rough math. Let's just do some rough math. Before I do so, I just saw a comment that didn't make too much sense to me. Infamous says it's rare, and I'm gonna get to the other super chat, you guys, but I gotta address this idiocy here. Shout out to Infamous, my nemesis. He says it's rare you find a quarterback who can do it alone, but it's very common to find a quarterback who can win with the Eagles. False. You want to know why? You want to know why? Because talent is not enough. And there's going to come a point in time where you guys realize that. There's going to come a point in time where you realize talent alone is not enough. It's not enough. Because at the end of the day, when everybody's talented, when talent goes out the window, what do you do in that situation when you got to make the decision? What do you do when it's fourth down and you're in empty formation and you forget to slide your protection and you throw up a prayer ball to Dalton Kincaid? What do you do? You see, people love saying anybody can play in the Eagles offense. This is not a video game. There are intangibles in place that matter. There are intangibles in place that matter. Because by your logic, if Jalen Hurts was as bad as they say he is, he wouldn't be in 2 Super Bowls. You cannot carry somebody who's as ass as y'all claim him to be to a Super Bowl. You can't. You can't. At some point, they will expose themselves. These proclaimed football nerds love acting like they know the game like the back of their hand. They love claiming they watch all the film. They love claiming they got all the analytics and the stats in their brain. They love it. But the one thing they forget to account for are the intangibles, the things you can't measure, the things that Justin Herbert is missing, the things that Josh Allen is missing, The things that Lamar Jackson sometimes is missing. The things that, I don't know, Jordan Love is missing. Sure, talent gets you to the party, but talent doesn't get you the girl in the end. That's like saying, you know what that's like saying? That's like saying, hey, you know, because you're so attractive, you could bag any chick in the room. Hey, listen, I could bag any chick in the room because I'm that attractive. At some point, my G, you got to talk. At some point, you got to spit game. At some point, you got to get your riz on. Talent not enough. Looks aren't enough. At some point, you got to do your job at the right time, at the right moment. At some point, you got to open your mouth and say, "Hey, how you doing?" Like, what are we talking about? That's like saying because you the flyest nigga, you could bag any chick you want. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? That's like saying because I got the most money, I could bag any chick I want. No, you can't. No, you can't. It's some weirdos with money out here. It's some losers with money out here. Everybody with money ain't got game. Everybody that look like Shamar Moore ain't got game. I'm just trying to get people to understand. Hey, Melly J, what Kendrick say? It's not enough. It's not enough. Come on. Come on. We got to keep it a buck. We got to keep it a buck. You want to know what makes Patrick Mahomes special? Because not only is he talented, he got the intangibles. You want to know why Josh Allen ain't beat Patrick Mahomes yet? Because he's missing that it factor that Mahomes has. He's missing it. He's missing that. You see all that talent in the world, but when your season is encapsulated in one play in one moment, what are you going to do in that moment? I'm just saying. See, look, you hear what he talk about now? He focusing on one part of what I'm saying. He's not addressing the elephant in the room. Let's continue. I wasted too much time already. Dank Bird Gang with the $5 super chat. Thank you for the super chat, man. He says Jaylen is a very accurate quarterback when he can trust what he sees and fires it on time in the rhythm. He's thrown dimes all his career, yet he can't throw. I think over the past 3 seasons combined, Jalen Hurts is completing 67% of his passes, 66% of his passes. That's above league average. He had a career high in completion percentage this year, 68.9, I believe. Had a career high in passer rating. Now his passing yards did go down, right? His passing touchdowns did drop. His yards per attempt went up, right? Completion percentage went up. Passer rating went up. He was more efficient and more effective. And by the way, people love saying Jalen Hurts is holding guys back, like James Jones on the facility. James Jones loves claiming that Jalen Hurts is holding these guys back. James Jones loves claiming that Jalen Hurts had A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith in a straitjacket. Let's do some math. Let's do some quick mental math. Let's do some rough math. So, A.J. Brown, since being a Philadelphia Eagle, has had receiving seasons of almost 1,500 yards in back-to-back years. 2022, 1,496. 2023, 1,456. And then his receiving numbers went down to 1,079. His touchdowns is on par. He had 11 touchdowns in 2022, 7 touchdowns in 2023, 7 touchdowns in 2024. The touchdowns are on par. But his yards went down. His targets went down. His receptions went down. His average per reception went up from last year. And he was a second-team All-Pro again. So, again, They're saying Jalen Hurts held A.J. Brown back. Let's continue. And I'm going to land this. I'm going to land this plane. Follow me here, you guys. I'm going to land this plane. Devontae Smith, since the 2022 season, almost 1,200 yards receiving, over 1,000 yards receiving in 2023. In 2024, he had 833. But he also had a career high in touchdowns. His average per reception is on par. His targets went down. His receptions went down. But you know what they don't talk about with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith when you look at their numbers? You know what they don't talk about? You know what they don't talk about, y'all, when they talk about A.J. Brown's numbers or Devontae Smith's numbers? You know what they leave out? They leave out the fact that, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith missed 4 games this season. They love leaving that part out. A.J. Brown missed 4 games this year. Devontae Smith missed 4 games this year. You don't think that affect the numbers too? Okay, I can take it a step further. Saquon Barkley this season rushed for over 2,000 yards on 345 attempts, averaging 6 yards a carry, 13 touchdowns. I'm sorry, I can't think of a running back the caliber of Saquon that the Eagles have had over the past 3 seasons that they could put the ball in their hands over 300 times. Let me look at this. 2023 regular season. You had DeAndre Swift, 229 carries, just over 1,000 yards. His first 1,000-yard season. In 2022, you had Miles Sanders, who had 259 carries, just over 1,200 yards. So Saquon Barkley had around 100 carries more. Than DeAndre Swift and Miles Sanders. And last time I checked, Miles Sanders nor DeAndre Swift is on the level of Saquon Barkley. And neither of them was having the caliber of season as Saquon Barkley was having from the beginning. So when you have an offensive line like you have, and you have a guy like Saquon Barkley who's on a heater, who's been dominating, who has 14 games this year of over 100 yards, who rushed for over 2,000 yards, who rushed for double-digit touchdowns, and gave you stuff in the passing game, when you have a weapon like that, who's that dominant, who's a walking home run hitter, who's a walking Gatling gun, you give him the rock. Sorry, A.J. Brown, you're going to lose some targets. Sorry, Devontae, you're going to lose some targets. Sorry, Dallas Goedert, you're going to lose some targets. Sorry, Jalen Hurts, your passing attempts are going to go down. Sorry. It's a natural progression. But they want to keep saying Jalen Hurts held A.J. Brown back this year. They want to keep saying Jalen Hurts held Devontae Smith back this year. Did Jalen Hurts have a perfect game every week? No. But I could count on one hand, maybe 3 fingers. I could count on one hand the bad games Jalen Hurts has had this year. The one that stands out, obviously, is the Panthers game. That's the one that stands out the most. But if you ask me, let me make sure I got this right here. Again, They only love talking about Jalen Hurts' passing yards, if you notice that. When it comes to Jalen Hurts' passing yards, they only like talking about, when it comes to Jalen Hurts this year, they only like talking about his yards. They only like bringing up his yards. That's it. They don't talk about his accuracy, his completion percentage. They don't talk about his passer rating, how effective, how efficient he is. They don't talk about his yards per attempt. They don't bring up his rushing stats. They don't bring that up. They don't bring it up. But it's okay. I'll do it for him. I'll do it for him. In games where Jalen Hurts has played a full game, fully healthy, we're going to start from week 1 and go all the way to the Pittsburgh game, because the following game he got hurt in the Washington game, so we're not counting that. We're going to go from September 6th to December 15th. And we're going to mention Jalen Hurts' completion percentages. We're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about his yards per attempt. And we're going to talk about his passer rating. So, week 1, Green Bay, Jalen Hurts, and we're going to bring up his yards. We're going to bring up his yards because, they love yards, right? Jalen Hurts, week 1, Green Bay, 278 passing yards, a 58.8 completion percentage, 8 yards an attempt, an 80.3 passer rating. Jalen Hurts, week 2, Atlanta, 183 passing yards, 76.7 completion percentage, 6 yards an attempt, 88.6 passer rating. New Orleans, 311 passing yards, 76.3 completion percentage, 8 yards an attempt, an 88.8 passer rating. Tampa Bay, 158 passing yards, a 60% completion percentage, 5 yards an attempt, an 85.1 passer rating. Then we had the bye week. It's universally known those first 4 weeks was very off kilter for the Philadelphia Eagles. So then we get to after the bye week, post-bye week, when everything took off for the Philadelphia Eagles. We get to post-bye week. Jalen Hurts, the Cleveland Browns, 264 passing yards, a 64% completion percentage, 10 yards an attempt, a 126.1 passer rating. New York Giants, 114 passing yards, 71.4 completion percentage, 8 yards an attempt, a 119.3 passer rating. Jalen Hurts against the Bengals, 236 passing yards, 80% completion percentage, averaged 11.8 yards an attempt, a 132.5 passer rating. Against Jacksonville, 230 yards, 75% completion percentage, averaged 9.6 yards an attempt, a 132.3 passer rating. Dallas Cowboys game, 202 passing yards, 70% completions, averaged 10 yards an attempt, a 115 passer rating. Washington, 221 passing yards, a 64.3 completion percentage, 7.9 yards per attempt, 88.5 passer rating. Against the Rams, 179 passing yards, a 68.2 completion percentage, averaged 8 yards an attempt, a 108.0 passer rating. Against Baltimore, 118 passing yards, 57.9 completion percentage, a 93.8 passer rating, averaged 6 yards an attempt. Against Carolina, in my opinion, his worst game, 108 passing yards, 66.7 completion percentage, 2 passing touchdowns, no turnovers, a 110.8 passer rating. It's funny that was his worst game, but he completed 66% of his passes, 2 passing touchdowns, no turnovers, 3 total touchdowns. That's funny they called that his worst game now that I think about it in hindsight. Now, did he miss guys? Sure. But when you look at it now, is that really his worst game? Nonetheless, let's keep it going. Pittsburgh, the comeback game, according to most. 290 passing yards, a 78.1 completion percentage, a 125.3 passer rating, average 9 yards an attempt. On the season, Jalen Hurts has completed 68.7% of his passes, average 8 yards an attempt, a 103.7 passer rating on the season, all career highs. Career highs. I'm sorry if you guys don't like how Jalen Hurts plays the game. I'm sorry if you don't like it. Tough cookie. Cry in the car. They love saying Jalen Hurts is underutilizing his weapons when guys have had career numbers, no matter how they want to slice it. Smitty had a career high in touchdown catches. A.J. Brown still was a all-pro, over 1,000 passing yards, missing 4 games. Smitty and A.J. missed 4 games. Dallas Goedert, how many games did he miss? Dallas Goedert missed 7 games this year. So when you put all of that into the gumbo, when you put Saquon Barkley being a 2,000-yard rusher into the pot of gumbo, when you put A.J. Brown missing 4 games and still having over 1,000 yards and 7 touchdown catches on the season, which is on par. When you put Devontae Smith missing 4 games, still having over 800 receiving yards as a number 2 receiver, a career high in touchdown catches. When you put Dallas Goedert missing 7 games into the gumbo, when you put all of that into the gumbo, when you put having a number 1 defense all year long into the gumbo, when you put that into the pot, hey, I don't think Jalen Hurts did that bad. I don't think Jalen Hurts is as bad as y'all make him out to be. In the real RMP, I agree with that. His worst game, in my opinion, really is Tampa. That was his worst game. That Tampa Bay game was his worst. I didn't like that game at all. Now, granted, he had nobody. No A.J. Brown, no Devontae Smith. Rough game. Rough game. I'm tired of these people who they just have their own, they have their own agenda. They can't be moved off of it. They find these single threads to pull on, and they just continue to pull. Eventually, you ain't gonna have no sweater. Instead of thinking about Jalen Hurts' contributions in the macro, instead of thinking about the context of what happened this season. Just saying. Thank you for the super chat, Dank. Let me get to these other ones, man. Dez, the one thing with the super chat, he says the problem is fans buy into stat requirements that analysts use to fill out every week. Jalen wins and produces. Him and Patty, the only quarterbacks that matter. Hey, I ain't gonna argue with that. Private McClunky with the super chat. Thank you, my friend. He says, Tone, why are people killing Hurts when every loss we had was not because of him? Falcons, Saquon drop. Bucks, whole team. Washington, Smitty drop. Hey, man. It's the price of fame, brother. It's the price of fame. When you're on one of the most polarizing teams in football, yeah, they'll do that to you. Relative Time works with the super chat. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. He says the Eagles absolutely should win, assuming nothing like sloppy turnovers, which would be totally uncharacteristic for the Birds. The only way the Chiefs win is utter coaching brilliance. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that, man. I feel like we're better than them, top to bottom. The only position they got over us is quarterback. That's it. Other than that, we got them beat. The only position they got over us is quarterback. That's it. Come on, man. Infamous 2K back again with the super chat. My man, Infamous Saquon 2K. He says, and thank you for the super chat, Infamous. He says, the thing I'm excited to see is whether Okay, I see. He says, the thing I'm excited to see is Worthy because you guys run zone and a lot underneath, but Worthy is a guy who can make a guy miss and take it 20 extra yards. I'm excited to see how Andy schemes it and how Fangio tries to stop it. That will be exciting to see. Worthy and Hollywood Brown are very, very fast. Very, very fast. But we'll see. We will see. They're very fast. Thank you for the super chat, by the way, Infamous. I appreciate it. Solo on Wax with the super chat. I got to get through these, y'all. That's why I'm moving kind of fast. Solo on Wax with the super chat. And thank you all, by the way. I really do appreciate it. He says, my key matchup is Fangio versus Reed. Andy Reid. Two heavily seasoned coaches with plenty of experience and the pieces they need. Who else schemes who? That will be exciting, man. That will be interesting to see. And, when Vic was the coach in Denver, he obviously had to deal with Reed a lot. But now he's a DC. Now he just gets to focus. So that will be interesting to see how that plays out. I think we're more prepared this go around, though. Worf, thank you, my friend. He says you can be a game changer and still be sorry. Is one better than the other? The GOAT was a game manager. He was the absolute game manager. He was the best, the greatest one we've ever seen. The greatest one we've ever seen. Donnell Shipley with the super chat. He sends his at Infamous. He says, riddle me this, Batman. That's funny. Riddle me this, Batman. Have you ever thought if Lamar or Allen had AJ or Smitty on their team, they would be able to get past Mahomes? It's possible. It's very, very possible. Very possible. I like Zay Flowers, but he ain't AJ. I like Stephon Diggs, but he ain't AJ. Amari Cooper ain't AJ. AMHC, he says Rodgers was more talented than Brady. And exactly, Rodgers was more talented than Brady and has only seen one Super Bowl in his life. Tom Brady has seen like 8 of them. No, Tom Brady's seen like 10 of them, right? Yeah, he's seen 10 of them. Lost 3. Come on, man. Talent is not enough. Mikey215 with the super chat. Thank you, Mike. He says these other GMs don't. He said these other GMs don't got motion. Yo, facts, bro. They ain't got no motion. These other GMs ain't got no motion, man. Big 10, what's going on, Repper? He says, crazy thing is, all these professionals and fans will try to put Jaylen down, but their GOAT Brady always big up Hurts. I'll take his opinion instead. I'm with you on that, bro. I'm definitely with you on that. William Johnson, my guy, he says, people keep saying, what if this quarterback had the Eagles offense? Miss me with the lazy train of thought. Jaylen is the only quarterback who's referenced with the stupidity. If my grandpa had boobs, he'll be my grandmother. Yo, big facts. Big facts. Like all these ifs. Tell y'all GMs to work harder. Tell y'all owners to cut the check. So many ifs, so little time. Ifs don't pay the bills. Sweet Chin Music with the $20 super chat. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. He said 55-23. Some folks need a reminder, apparently. Facts. 55-23. Talking about the game was close. Talking about if they wouldn't have fumbled, we made that happen. We did that. Y'all didn't drop the ball. It wasn't no bad snap. Your guy didn't lose the ball in the rain or lose the ball in the snow. It was dry as a bone in Philly. It was dry as a bone. No rain, no snow. It wasn't that cold either. It was perfect football weather. And we made y'all fumble 3 times. 3 times. We cracked y'all. Put y'all in your pockets. Cracked y'all. And y'all know what's so funny about it too? Y'all? People forget this. Y'all know how Zach Bond forced Diami Brown to fumble in the championship game? Y'all remember that? Did y'all know Zach Bond made Diami Brown fumble earlier this season too? Did y'all know that? Zach Bond owns Diami Brown. Owns him. Every time Diamond Brown gets near Zach Bond, he gets skittish. Run and tell that. Run and tell that. And Jayden Daniels threw a pick. He threw it. I don't care what time of day it was. I don't care how many minutes left in the game. I don't care if the game was already lost. He threw a pick. Shouldn't have threw it, my G. Shouldn't have threw it. Shouldn't have threw it. Zach Bond owns Diamond Brown. Owns him. Zach Bond made that bum fumble twice. Twice. Come on, man. Even Dan Quinn had to own it. He said, listen, we got to give that defense credit. We didn't fumble because of us. They took the ball from us. They forced the fumbles. They forced it. But you got all these commentators, all these analysts pontificating, talking about, well, you know, if the Commanders wouldn't have made those mistakes, the game would have been closer. If. Tell your boys to hold on to the rock. But I understand. Things get tricky in the city of Philly. When you feel that pressure, everybody can't handle it. Everybody can't handle that pressure. 55-23. Yo, we need to get that put on a t-shirt. 55-23. Shit. Spa City with the super chat. He says the best throw Sunday was the Smitty that got that pass interference. That was a dart in the end zone. Yo, for sure. Ball placement was immaculate, Spa. Even the pass to Saquon that was short of the first down, that ball placement was tough. Saquon couldn't bring it in, but that ball placement was crazy. It was the play before he threw the ball to A.J. Brown on 4th and 5. The third down he threw it to Saquon. Man, that ball placement was tough, but Saquon couldn't bring it in. Infamous back again with the super chat. Thank you. He says Josh Allen is missing that it factor. What is he going to do in the moment? How about 2 minutes left, fourth quarter, 4th and 5, throws a pass and it gets dropped? What are you talking about? He don't have the it factor. Listen, he didn't get it done. What happened to first down? What happened to second down? What happened to third down? He didn't get it done. And sure, there's a ton of context behind his failure. A ton of it. But y'all don't give context to Jalen Hurts. So why should I give context to Josh Allen? Why? Why should I add context to him when y'all don't add context to Jalen Hurts? Now, sure, that's immature of me, and I'm better than that. But as of right now, I feel like being a child. So, what happened to first down, second down, third down, fourth? Like, come on now. The game wasn't lost on 4th down. That wasn't the only down, was it? Just saying. Thank you again for another super chat, Infamous. He says, so please tell me this. I got a question for you and the chat. Where does Hurt rank out of 1 through 32? He top 10, my G. Top 10. And people forget, you can win a Super Bowl with a top 10 quarterback. You can win. If you got a quarterback in the top 10, you should be able to win with him. You should be. Jalen Hurts is a top 10 quarterback. I'm cool with that. We can't always have it our way. I'm cool with that. Top 10, big dog. Don't play dumb. Roland with the super chat. He says, Nolan Smith has earned his flowers. I think that Dean injury triggered something in him. Bro, Nolan Smith is on fire right now. On fire. He can't be stopped, bro. He can't be stopped right now. Spa City with the super chat. He says, we catching a body. 42-17 birds. Ooh, if we beat them 42-17. Oh, I'm going to be unbearable. I'm going to be unbearable if we beat them boys 42-17. I'm going to lose my mind. K ordered Green with the super chat. Thank you, my friend. He says, if we got anything this season out of Jahan, like Quez or even Zach Pascal, his passing numbers would be even better. Granted, Jahan didn't really have any targets, though. I got to be fair to Jahan Dotson. He didn't get targets. Let's just call it what it is. He didn't get targets. But he came up in the clutch. I'll tell you that. That Green Bay game, he scored the first touchdown of the playoffs. Jahan Dotson earning his paycheck, if you ask me. And don't be surprised if Jahan Dotson is a threat in the Super Bowl. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Keep your eyes on Jahan Dotson. Because I'm telling you, the Chiefs going to forget about him. The Chiefs going to forget about Jahan Dotson. They're going to forget about him. But Jahan Dotson, hey, listen, at least when the ball comes to him, he catch it, unlike Quez. My man scored the first touchdown in the postseason. I'll live with it. Bo 1990 says, every time we play JD5, he throws an interception. That's a fact. Every time we play the Commanders, they turn the ball over. Every time. We forced 10 turnovers in 3 games versus the Commanders. 10 turnovers. Where they do that at? Where they do that at? We forced 10 turnovers on the Commanders in 3 games. In 3 games. 10 turnovers. That's not an accident. That's not happenstance. Whatever we want, we take it. Ten turnovers. Explain that. Somebody explain that to me. How did we force 10 turnovers on one football team? Somebody help me out, please. I'm begging you. And my quarterback ain't turned it over once? And my quarterback ain't turned it over once? And my running back ain't fumbled once? And my wide receivers ain't fumbled once? You want to know the only turnovers we got against the Commanders? Kenny Pickett gave it to you. Kenny Pickett gave it to you. That's the funny thing about it. The only turnovers the Commanders got on the Eagles this season is by way of Kenny Pickett. He gave it to you. When Jalen Hurts is in the lineup, he don't get a ball to you. Saquon don't get a ball to you. AJ, Smitty, Jahan, Dallas Goedert, Kenny Gainwell, Grand Calcaterra, they didn't get a ball to you. But Brian Robinson gave the ball to us. Jayden Daniels gave the ball to us. Diami Brown gave the ball to us. Nichols gave the ball to us. Who else? Austin Eckler gave the ball to us. Damn. Melly J with the super chat. He says the contradictions are wild because they say the AFC is more competitive, yet the same teams make it to the end and lose to the same dude, and now they don't have help. That's funny, Melly. Shar with the super chat. Thank you, Shar. She says, I can't wait to see the excuses after we win. I can't wait either. I cannot wait, Shar. She's back again. She says Jalen is top 5. Pat, Lamar, Josh is the only definite. I'm arguing with motherfuckers after that. Shar, I'm not mad at your logic. I'm not mad at your logic. I'm really not. Pat, Lamar, and Josh are the definites. I'm willing to argue about the rest of them too. Shar. I can't front. Dank Bird Gang. He says Mahomes has had a pick in every Super Bowl besides 2022. Oh, we getting one this year. We might make him fumble too. We getting one. Believe that we getting one. All right. We're about to close the show out. Thank you guys so much for supporting the content, for supporting the platform. I want you guys to, if you guys leave here with anything, I want you guys to know this. Your Philadelphia Eagles deserve to be in this position. They deserve to be in this position. You're going to have a lot of people over the next couple weeks try to diminish what Jalen Hurts has accomplished. You're going to have people try to diminish what the Eagles have accomplished. You're going to have people try to poke holes in what we've built. You're going to hear a lot of ifs over the next couple weeks. You're going to hear a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas. You're going to hear a lot of it. You're going to hear a lot of it. But guess what? Only 2 teams are playing in the Super Bowl. Only 2 quarterbacks are playing in the Super Bowl. And one of them are your Philadelphia Eagles. And one of them is your franchise quarterback in Jalen Hurts. And it's straight like that. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the super chats. Green Wingman, thank you so much. He says, I heard if you don't turn the ball over, you can win a lot of games in the league. Clearly, the Commanders didn't get that memo last Sunday. Big facts. And Shar back again. Oh, shoot. Damn. Damn, Shar, my bad. I didn't know. My bad, brother. My bad, man. My bad. He says, I'm a guy, bro. Yo, I've been calling you a chick for a long time. Why didn't you say nothing? I've been calling you a girl for a long time, brother. Why didn't you tell me? My bad, man. My bad. And I'm not giving out any more wrenches for a while. I want to slow down on giving out the wrenches, Shar. But thank you for the super chat, bro. I really do appreciate you. Thank you. But like I said, there's only 2 quarterbacks and only 2 teams playing in the Super Bowl. One of them is your Philadelphia Eagles, and one of them is your franchise quarterback, Jalen Hurts. And it kills them. They can't sleep at night. They toss and turn at the notion that Jalen Hurts is going to win his first Super Bowl. They know it's coming. They can't stop the tsunami. They can't stop the blizzard. They can't weather this storm. And it's straight like that. I've been your humble host, Tone DeShields II. And you guys have been tuned in to a very special dose of Chalk It Up Sports on the Chalk It Up Network, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge to the game.